Welcome to A Philosophy of Action. In the last few episodes, we finally put down a core system of belief. Our moral values, our mission in life, and the relationship each person should have with their government, their state, and their society. Now I want to go further. What about policy? What about the addendums we need to make? Eventually I want to translate this framework into case studies, real-world events that political situations we can analyze through this lens. To begin, let me clarify something. This philosophy is not meant to be purely selfish or family-centered. It's not that the family isn't the most important thing. Of course it is. But if we stop there, our values could be misinterpreted as telling you to abandon the rest of the world and focus only on your descendants. That could sound self-centered, and in a sense, yes, it is. But it is also much more. This worldview is based on objective observation, not simple desire. If you don't choose your own descendants over anyone else's, you will effectively betray your own values and your own relevance as a lineage. Let me give you an example. Imagine someone who proudly identifies themselves as a socialist and says they value equality above all. Then I ask, how many children do you have? And if they answer with none, because that's, for example, not important, what matters is equality of the masses, then their argument is fundamentally undermined. Because if you're not creating descendants who will live within the society you seek to create, you're admitting that the vision of your society is so undesirable that you wouldn't want your own children to live within it. Any political order worth creating must be designed for your own descendants to inherit it. If you have no descendants or no intent to have them, yet still argue politics, you're speaking from a position of zero consequence. Nothing fundamentally yours will survive into the future and into the society you seek to create. You will die, leaving no continuation of yourself, whilst expecting other people's children to live under the world you want to create. That is fundamentally hypocrisy of the highest order. By contrast, those who raise descendants are doing the hard work of building the future of society. They have the highest stake in the outcomes of politics, and that's why this framework only considers those invested in the continuity of society, those who create descendants and have a truly legitimate voice in shaping society. But let me emphasize, this is not a purely selfish worldview. The point is not only I matter, and everyone else can go to hell. No, the point is cooperation. The idea is to build a positive moral perspective and a shared social objective that families can rally around and form a society around. The nation, the culture, the group you belong to should reinforce itself. Why else be part of it? The state should serve not only me, but all those who commit themselves to the great project. Because if the state does not enable us to have descendants to thrive and to survive, then there is no reason to be loyal to it. At the same time, the state must ensure that everyone else who participates in this project has the same opportunity. Without that, you don't have a nation. You don't have a society worth defending. You don't even have the protection from foreign societies that would exploit or dominate you. So yes, in the everyday sense, this philosophy is selfish, like all human action is. Every act must provide some sort of benefit, whether emotional, spiritual, or moral. Any action with no benefit whatsoever to you, or no perceived benefit or intended benefit, is fundamentally irrational. But in a greater sense, when family, comrades, compatriots, and fellow citizens come together to work towards a shared project, this is not selfish at all, it's collective. It's a social contract to cooperate, even when times are hard, because without cooperation your society collapses, and collapsed societies are always conquered by those that remain functional, and the people who are then conquered might be exploited or killed. So what should the state do? What policy should it adopt? Because the state is a social contract designed to enable the great project of every individual, it has two fundamental duties. A negative duty. It must not make it harder for people to have descendants. Any state that does so is anti-life, unjust, and illegitimate. Such a state must be reformed, abandoned, or overthrown. And a positive duty. It should help make survival and reproduction possible. That means ensuring access to resources through trade or conquest, if necessary, such as food, water, housing, and materials of life. Beyond this, the state must protect its citizens. That means protecting them not only from foreign invasions, but also from internal threats. Murder, robbery, and unchecked violence destroy the very reason people come together in a state and undermine its authority. If the state cannot protect you from your fellow man, or at least enables you to protect yourself, then it fails its duty. Likewise, if it cannot defend you from foreign powers, you will end up under the rule of another state, whether you want it or not. So to summarize, the fundamental duties of any legitimate state are fourfold: to protect citizens from foreign enemies, to protect citizens from internal violence, to enable citizens to have descendants who can thrive and survive, and to never implement policies that make survival or having descendants harder, at least in the long term. Any state that fails in these duties is illegitimate and evil. Such a state has no right to exist. If left unreformed, it will collapse or be replaced by outsiders who will pursue their own great projects. But if it is reformed, it can become something greater. A society with purpose, with clarity, with shared morals and a shared destiny. A society where people understand the importance of descendants, the importance of continuity, and the importance of living in alignment with natural laws, not empty ideologies or foreign superstition that undermines survival. That is the kind of society we want to build. One with purpose, clarity, and strength. In future episodes, I'll explore specific policies through this lens. We'll look at news, events, real-world politics, and analyze how they align or fail to align with its philosophy of action. But first, I will talk about personal relations with one another. But that's for another episode. Thank you for watching, and have a good day.